We just my bad. What's up? So it's your boy Yori in the building. Yori Death. You know the vibes. Um, I had recorded like a 30-minute like voice memo or whatever of me talking about Jimmy Butler like a few nights ago. I wasn't cooking. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't even like. I was tired. I was doing a little bit too much. You feel me? I really should have just went and laid down, kept the idea for the morning, and executed it then. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about Jimmy Butler, and I was a little bit more mean in my original video, so I think I'm gonna be a little bit nicer. Um, Long story short, okay. The fact to me that Jimmy Butler brought the heat from a team where after Braun left, we didn't know what they were going to ever really do. Like, yeah, we could assume they were just going to draft, but I mean, it's Miami. Like, they could always get somebody. But I vividly remember when they signed Jimmy Butler, just like when Philly got Jimmy Butler, just like when Minnesota got Jimmy Butler, and everybody was like, there's no way that this team is going to be doing anything worth anything in the playoffs. And I guess for Minnesota, that was, for the most part, true. But I would definitely disagree with that for Philly. And obviously for Miami, because if you take Jimmy Butler off of those teams, what are those teams doing? I would love to know what these teams are doing in the playoffs, because his first year there, their starting lineup was a young Bam Adebayo, Myers Leonard, Kendrick Nunn, and Duncan Robinson. That's the regular season lineup. And then the playoff lineup is Jay Crowder, Gordon Dragic, and Duncan Robinson, and they made the finals. Okay, I'm not saying that these players are horrible players. Yeah, Gordon Dragic, whatever, got his he got a six man of the year before, but the nigga like 34, 36. What are we expecting from him? Like, we're not expecting much. So let's just be realistic here. Nobody looked at this 5-man lineup and thought, oh yeah, these guys are going to be the ones to make the playoffs this year. These guys are going to be the one to make the fucking finals. Come on now. Let's just be honest, bro. Let's be honest. And then the very next year, it's like, all right, well, maybe that was just a fluke. You feel me? Like, maybe that just kind of happened to happen. Like, it wasn't even like, it was just a one-off thing. And I'm going to be honest. In my opinion, I think the team that they had the year after was even worse. They had Bam, Trevor Ariza, Jimmy, Kendrick Nunn, and Robinson again. Like, bro, what are we talking about right now, bro? What are we talking about? And then in the playoffs, they replaced Kendrick Nunn with Gordon Dragic, but Trevor Ariza is still starting, and I'm pretty sure he averaged like 4 points. Like, what are we doing? So then he asked for somebody to just make the big decision at the top, right? Get me that guy. Give me some help, because I appreciate Bam. I appreciate Duncan. I appreciate my teammates. He said that multiple times. But he's like, we're going to need more. And I mean, is he wrong? The Bucks are a great fucking team. Or they were, during these years, they were great teams. Like, there were definitely a lot of teams at that time that the Celtics, like, there were teams that we were looking at, like, we're just like, there's no way. Like, bro. So he asked for that, and then get him Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker. Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker, and then Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin. That's the great acquisition. That's the difference maker. Oh, and Max Strus. I mean, I like these players. I'm not saying I don't like these players or Victor Oladipo, but like, listen to these names, bro. If your team right now, whatever team you got, don't matter if you're a championship level team or if you are a butt team, whatever team you got right now, if they get Victor Oladipo, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, PJ Tucker, even at these times, on your team right now, do you think that's really making the world of a difference? No, I don't. I don't think it is at all. And every single year you go by, the only difference that is being made is that Tyler Hero is getting better at basketball. That's it. Because Duncan Robinson fell off a fucking cliff. We don't know what happened. Don't know why. They kept Kyle Lowry. They still got Caleb Martin. And then what? Kevin Love? Like I said, if your team even got this version of Kevin Love right now, how much of a difference do you think that's making for your team? Because I'm going to be honest. It's not making much of a difference for many. I'm going to just be real. It's really not. So this whole narrative to me that like Jimmy is just this like undeserving player, like in my eyes, what I imagined was going to happen at the very least, since they weren't going to get him somebody else to come and play at the fucking team, they would at the very least just pay the guy. Like, okay, yeah, we didn't manage to get anybody and we didn't manage to get the win, but you did bring us to the finals 2 times. 2 different times. And honestly, the only reason why we really lost is because we just didn't have the pieces around you to be able to play hard enough. That's it. That's really it, bro. Like, it's not like these teams are bad teams. And I feel like if a lot of these players were coming off of the bench and allowed to play that role rather than having to be asked to be competing with all of these other players that are just straight up better than them. I don't know how else to say it. They're just better than them. And it's like, you're asking so much of these players, and it's not like they're not performing in their own little way. It's very special when they do have a great game, but it's obviously not something anybody's been able to rely on. That's why anybody who's traded for these players hasn't really done much with them, because there's not really much you can do. Like, I'm not going to say Jimmy Butler is the only reason they were playing good, but it's just really more or less the culture that was built around what Jimmy would do. Like, okay, yeah, he doesn't perform in the regular season, but if I'm just going to be honest, bro, I don't see a reason why he would. If every single year, just imagine if every single year Giannis just didn't get anybody. Or like, what I don't understand about how people talk about Jimmy Butler is he's accomplished so much more than a lot of people's favorite superstars or superstars who didn't get a ring or underrated whatever. And it's like, bro, if we're just gonna be honest, I'm sorry, if we're just gonna be fucking honest, bro, Jimmy Butler has a better career than somebody like Damian Lillard. Okay, okay, if you're gonna tell me how much shots and all that other shit, cool, but I mean, look at the playoffs, bro. That's all I can say. Like, just look at the playoffs. I'm not going to say that Dame is a horrible playoff player, but he is known to be a dropper sometimes. I mean, Jimmy has dropped too, but at the same time, he's also dropped 40, 50, and then all other types of crazy shit and completely swept or gentleman swept teams that honestly he had no reason fucking beat. So it's like, I don't know. I love a lot of these players that are in the league right now that don't got rings. I mean, look, I'm a Russ fan. I even love Russ, but even with Russ, it's like he doesn't compare to somebody like Jimmy Butler, bro. Paul George, Joel Embiid. Look, I like Joel Embiid, okay, and this is not any Joel Embiid slander, I promise. Like, he's a great player, he really is. But people are talking about, well, we haven't seen Jimmy Butler play in almost a year. We don't know if he's still going to be the same guy. But then you guys are talking about Joel Embiid still deserves his contracts when we know for a fact that, yeah, he's going to come back and average crazy points, but he's going to be the same guy. Unfortunately, he's going to be the same guy who keeps getting injured. It just seems to always happen. So I'm not saying any of this to be like vindictive about it, but it's just quite literally like, I don't understand how people are looking at Jimmy Butler of all players and saying he doesn't deserve whatever he fucking asks for. If he asked the Miami Heat for a player, he should have gotten a player. He brought them to the finals without him. So what do y'all think they could have done if they got him? Like, just imagine a timeline where they actually do get somebody else. I think, like, dead ass, they could win it all. I really think that these Heat teams had the potential to win it all. But they never made any moves, bro. If you go and look at the transaction report for the Heat over these last 5 years, bro, it's so slim to nothing, bro. Like, it's just ridiculous to me personally. And I've always been I guess, a Jimmy believer. I get what a lot of people have their hatred for him for or dislikes for him for, but personally, I mean, I just see a player who always shows up. I'm sorry, like, he always shows up, even if he needs to just drop 15 points, 6 assists, and 9 rebounds, and just play some great defense. He'll do it. Like, whoever has the hot hand, he'll give them the ball. I love that. I think that's amazing, and I think it's just weird that a lot of people think that, like, he's the one going around just ruining every single team, when it's just like, when you look at these situations that he's put in, what were these teams going to be doing without him? Like, dead ass, bro. What are we gonna like? Are we gonna lie to ourselves and say that Andrew Wiggins and Cat was gonna make the playoffs? Sorry to break it to you. Without Anthony Edwards, they wasn't doing that. Um. Okay, yeah, Philly might keep making the playoffs. Are we gonna say that they would have even looked as scary as they did without Jimmy Butler? No. When they got rid of Jimmy, everything went to shit. Straight up. So then you look at Miami, and we're talking about a post Heatles era, and he still takes them to the finals. I just feel like Paul George is trash. I'm sorry, I just had to get that out. And I don't understand how for 1 second anybody can convince themselves that Paul George deserves any of the money that he decided to ask for, or he decided, like, Jimmy Butler asking what he's asking for makes sense. Paul George asking for the same contract that Kawhi does makes no sense. That is quite literally illogical. But there is not one person on that team who deserves to be paid more than Jimmy Butler. So I guess maybe the Heat will make it work with Wiggins. I wish them the best of luck, because I feel like everybody at this fucking point should know what the experience with Wiggins is going to be. But I guess everybody just has to learn the hard way. The Lakers are the second seed. I love Luka. Go Lakers. Yeah.